The city roars. Deadlines pound. Messages buzz. Tempers spark. In the middle of that storm, imagine a single golden flame that does not flicker. That flame is silence, not absence, but power. The power to hold your ground when chaos demands a reaction. The power to see clearly while others speak from impulse. Tonight, we enter the Stoic art of the unspoken word, when saying nothing becomes your most strategic move. You will recognize the moments: heat rising in your chest, noise crowding your mind, pressure to answer now. Pause. Breathe. Look. The space you create with silence is not empty. It is a workshop where strength, judgment, and dignity are forged. Are you ready to master it? Think of the moments that cost you peace. The late-night text that hooks you into a pointless debate. The meeting where gossip drags your name. The family dinner where one sentence ignites a feud. You know that flash: tight chest, quick breath, words racing ahead of wisdom. Here, silence is not avoidance. It is alignment. When you do not bite the bait, you keep your time, your focus, your reputation. You stop adding wood to a fire that burns your energy. Silence lets you observe what is real, what is bait, what is beneath their tone. It turns you from a pawn of emotion into a maker of choices. You don't have to win every skirmish. You have to win yourself. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, trained a simple discipline. Between stimulus and response, claim the gap. Silence is that gap made visible. It is a disciplined pause that cools anger, gathers facts, and honors values before words leave your mouth. To them, virtue begins with self-command. You do not control events, but you can always govern your tongue. Silence is the sheath that guards your sword. You draw only when purpose is clear. In practice, breathe once, relax the jaw, drop the shoulders, count to 5. Ask yourself, what serves truth and character here? If nothing worthy arises, let silence speak. Often it says more than any clever line could. In the next chapters, you'll learn 7 precise moments to stay silent, and how silence turns into clarity, respect, and leverage. You will practice cooling surging emotion, pausing when facts are thin, breaking conflict cycles, honoring cultures you don't yet understand, resisting rushed decisions, disarming provocations, and making room to think. Each principle comes with a quote, a story, and a modern-day application you can use today. By the end, you will have a pocket ritual: how to breathe, notice, and choose the quiet that protects your time and builds your strength. Don't speak to be heard. Learn to be silent to be powerful. Let's begin. Principle 1. When emotions run high, anger comes like fire. One careless bump in the market, one harsh word in traffic, and suddenly our hearts race and our voices rise. The Stoics warned, in the heat of passion, we are blind architects, building regret with every word. Silence here is not weakness, it is water to the flame. When emotions run high, the choice not to speak is the choice to stay sovereign. It is the first step toward mastering the only battlefield that matters: your own mind. Epictetus reminds us, what upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about things. The event is small. Our interpretation is the storm. When fury swells, silence becomes a pause between the spark and the wildfire. In those seconds, you reclaim the power to ask, is this truly harm, or just my perception of it? By holding your tongue, you let wisdom walk in before words rush out. This is the discipline of silence, a shield against your own misjudgment. Picture a soldier in the Roman Forum insulted before the crowd. The instinct is retaliation, sharp words, sharper steel. But the wise soldier breathes, hand on hilt, yet sword unsheathed. The crowd waits for violence. Instead, silence disarms them. His dignity grows in proportion to his restraint. In our lives, the insult may come from a colleague, a stranger, or even family. Yet the battlefield is the same. Each outburst surrenders your power. Each pause multiplies it. Silence becomes not surrender, but triumph. Next time anger rises, practice this. Pause for one breath. Loosen your jaw. Feel the fire, but do not feed it. Ask, what outcome do I want? If it is clarity, respect, peace, silence is the path. Later, you may speak calmly, with reason instead of rage. Silence here is not silence forever. It is the training ground for measured words. The modern world rewards quick reactions, but wisdom rewards controlled ones. In the space of silence, you trade momentary satisfaction for lasting power. Principle 2. When you don't have all the facts. Imagine stepping into a heated dinner table debate, voices raised, opinions flung like arrows. Your impulse is to join, to defend, to correct. But without all the facts, you are like a traveler entering a maze blindfolded. Every step risks confusion. The Stoics warn that speaking too soon often exposes more ignorance than wisdom. Here, silence becomes your lantern. By holding your tongue, you watch, you listen, you learn. And when you finally speak, your words cut through the noise with clarity and weight. Marcus Aurelius counseled, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. For I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." His lesson is clear. The goal is not to win arguments, but to discover truth. And truth demands patience. Silence gives you space to hear not just words, but assumptions and biases hiding behind them. By waiting, you transform from a restless interrupter into a true seeker. In silence, you sharpen the blade of reason. In Athens, a young orator rushed into debate, eager to prove his brilliance. He spoke quickly, loudly, passionately, yet the crowd grew restless. Then Socrates, silent until the noise subsided, spoke a few careful words. The assembly listened with reverence, not because he shouted, but because he waited. His silence turned his speech into gold. In our age, online arguments and workplace debates tempt us to react instantly. But often the wisest voice is the one that listens long before it speaks. In meetings, online discussions, even family conflicts, remember this. Silence is not absence, it is strategy. Instead of rushing to fill space, ask questions, listen for what is not said, and let others reveal themselves. Resist the urge to interrupt. Take notes instead of speaking immediately. When your turn comes, your words will land like arrows guided by patience. In a world of constant noise, the voice that pauses is the one that people remember. Silence, used wisely, is the mark of maturity. Principle 3. When you are in conflict, arguments often spiral like wildfires. A word sparks, a reply fuels, and soon the flames consume both sides. The Stoics taught that silence in conflict is not surrender, but strategy. By refusing to add fuel, you break the cycle. You create a space where emotions cool and reason can return. Silence is not giving up, it is stepping back so that dignity, not anger, writes the ending. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is often more harmful to us than the injury that provokes it." In conflict, every quick retort is a dagger we turn upon ourselves. Silence is the sheath that guards against self-inflicted wounds. It allows us to step back, to feel the surge without being swept away, to choose when and how to respond with strength rather than spite. Picture two generals facing each other, tempers high, armies ready. One shouts insults, demanding reply. The other stays silent, hands steady on the reins. His troops, inspired by his restraint, hold firm while the enemy exhausts itself in noise. Conflict is not won by louder voices, but by calmer minds. In our homes, our offices, our friendships, the same is true. Silence can command more respect than the sharpest retort. When conflict finds you, pause. Do not race to win the argument. Aim to preserve the relationship. Listen actively. Replace "you always" with "I feel." Search for even one point of agreement. Let silence cool the fire before words re-enter. In today's world, where social media and workplace disputes invite constant escalation, restraint is revolutionary. Silence makes you not the echo of anger, but the architect of peace. Principle 4. When you don't understand cultural norms. Imagine stepping into a sacred temple in a foreign land. Symbols glow on ancient walls. Worshippers bow in quiet reverence. You want to ask, to comment, to share your awe, but you do not yet know the rules. One careless word could fracture respect. Here, silence is wisdom. It allows you to observe, to learn, to honor. To the Stoics, silence in the face of the unknown is not emptiness, but respect made visible. Marcus Aurelius reflected, adapt yourself to the environment in which your lot has been cast, and show true love to the fellow creatures with whom destiny has surrounded you. To adapt, one must first observe. Silence is adaptation's first tool. It listens before it speaks, respects before it assumes. In cultural settings, silence says, I honor what I do not yet understand. A Roman envoy once entered a Persian court. Eager to impress, he spoke before understanding local customs, offending the king and ending negotiations. Another envoy, wiser, remained silent, watched how others acted, and mirrored their gestures. Respect earned trust, and trust secured peace. The same is true today. Whether in another country, a new workplace, or even a friend's home, silence grants you the chance to learn the rules before you break them. In travel, in new jobs, in unfamiliar communities, let silence be your first language. Watch body language. Note tone and gestures. Ask gently only when appropriate. To be silent is to say, I am here to learn, not impose. In a loud world, humility speaks loudest. By practicing silence in cultural unknowns, you become not just a guest, but a bridge between worlds. Principle 5. When pressured to make a quick decision. Imagine a boardroom where all eyes lock on you, waiting for your answer. The air is heavy, the clock ticks louder, and pressure demands speed. But the Stoics remind us, haste is often the enemy of wisdom. Silence, here, is not hesitation, it is power. By pausing, you claim the space to think, to weigh, to choose. Better a delayed decision built on reason than a rushed one built on regret. Marcus Aurelius warned, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. His words remind us that clarity requires time. A rushed answer may please the crowd, but silence earns you truth. In those moments of pressure, stillness is your compass. By not speaking at once, you make room for virtue to lead before vanity does. A Roman general once faced demands for an immediate decision, to attack at dawn or retreat. Instead of rushing, he remained silent, studied the stars, listened to scouts, and waited until morning. His army survived because his pause revealed the enemy's trap. In our lives, the trap may be a contract, a deal, or a promise made too quickly. Silence is reconnaissance. It uncovers what haste would have hidden. In today's world of instant replies and pressured deadlines, silence is rebellion. Say, this decision matters. I need time to weigh it. Ask for clarification, request a pause, or simply breathe before you speak. Quick answers often serve others. Thoughtful silence serves truth. The Stoics remind us, a pause today may prevent regret tomorrow. Silence does not delay progress, it secures it. Principle 6. When someone tries to provoke you. Picture a crowded gathering. Someone mocks your beliefs, questions your work, or throws a sharp insult designed to sting. The temptation is instant. Defend, retaliate, strike back. Yet the Stoics taught, provocation is bait, and silence is the refusal to bite. When you do not answer, you do not play their game. Instead, you rise above it, keeping your peace and dignity intact. Epictetus declared, if someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against his opinions. He is not your master. To answer every insult is to admit ownership of your peace to another. Silence here is not weakness, but freedom. It shows that no one else has the power to dictate your state of mind. In Rome, a senator once mocked Cato the Younger, expecting fury. But Cato smiled faintly, remained silent, and continued walking. The crowd, waiting for spectacle, saw instead composure. The mocker grew smaller with every step Cato refused to take. In modern life, trolls on social media, gossip at the office, or sarcastic remarks at dinner all bait us. Silence turns their weapons blunt, their power hollow. When someone tries to provoke you, remember, silence is not losing. It is winning by refusing to play. Walk away, change the subject, or answer with calm indifference. That's an interesting view. Every second you withhold your reaction, you grow stronger. In a world addicted to outrage, your silence becomes rebellion and your greatest defense. Principle 7. When you need to reflect and process information. Our lives are flooded with constant alerts, news updates, messages, endless chatter. The mind becomes crowded, restless, unable to think clearly. The Stoics remind us, silence is not absence, it is space. A pause to filter noise, to order thoughts, to see the truth behind the storm. When you choose silence, you create clarity in a world addicted to noise. Seneca observed, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Noise wastes life, silence restores it. When you pause, you give yourself back your most precious resource, attention. Reflection needs quiet soil to grow. Without silence, your mind becomes a crowded market. With silence, it becomes a garden. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, carried the weight of an empire. Yet each night, he returned to silence, writing his meditations. In that quiet, he examined his fears, his anger, his purpose. Without silence, the empire would have consumed him. With silence, he mastered himself. In our age, silence is still the workshop where the soul sharpens its tools. Reflection turns chaos into wisdom. Each day, give yourself 5 silent minutes. Turn off your phone. Step outside. Breathe. Let thoughts settle like dust in still air. Write, reflect, or simply observe. In silence, you process pain, shape decisions, and anchor values. The modern world will not hand you silence. You must claim it. And in claiming it, you reclaim yourself. We have traveled through 7 moments where silence is not weakness but wisdom. When emotions rise, when facts are missing, when conflict boils, when cultures differ, when pressure mounts, when provocation strikes, and when reflection is needed. Each silence is a pause, a shield, a seed of clarity. To speak less is not to lose your voice. It is to make it matter more. Silence, used with purpose, becomes the most eloquent word. In a noisy world, silence is rebellion. When you do not answer every insult, you prove freedom. When you pause under pressure, you prove mastery. When you reflect, you prove depth. The Stoics remind us, power is not in louder words, but in steadier hearts. Your silence is your fortress, your strategy, your crown. Wear it with pride. Your exercise, for 1 week, choose a daily moment to practice silence. In anger, hold your tongue. In meetings, listen fully before speaking. In family disputes, pause before reply. In solitude, turn off all noise and reflect. Write what you discover. Let silence be your teacher, your mirror, your shield. The more you train it, the more it will serve you when life tests you. Remember, silence is not emptiness, but strength. The Stoics knew that the unspoken word often carries the greatest weight. Let your calm be your message. Let your restraint be your power. This is Stoic Miracles, where timeless wisdom meets modern life. Until next time, walk with strength and speak only when silence is not enough.